I think it's working. I think it's working. Doing it for my computer this time, and I don't know, the page is all different, so I'm not sure if I'm live or not. I think I might be. Hey guys. Oh, good. Thanks, Kara. I don't see anyone. I'm not going to do this again. I've been messing with my computer, and I can't see anyone joining or not joining. Well, this is stinky. I might have to ask one of the other folks. So I can't see your names popping up, or I don't know how to see your names popping up. So as you entered, please let me know if you're here, because I want to say hello. Okay, Sunday night. I'm having a lot of technical challenges today. Not really sure why, but there it is. Mary Jo, hi. Please say hi, you guys. Hi, Kara. Because I can't see if anyone's joining or not. So I'll figure this out. Hi, Holly. Hey, guys. Awesome. Good to see you. I was having kind of a rough start to the day. I was having a little bit of a rough night. Karen, hi, super excited to see everyone because I can't see when people like sign in and on or tune in, whatever. Anyway, so I was having kind of a rough day yesterday, sort of, and this morning really just started off. We talked about attitude. I also don't know how to silence my notifications. I'm just going to do it from my phone next time because this is confusing to me. Okay. So we talk about attitude, and I woke up in kind of a dark attitude, feeling sort of down, feeling sort of hopeless, not really feeling very connected. And I didn't want to do anything. I had a lot that I wanted to do, actually, but I just couldn't motivate myself to get up and do it. And I just said, I need to go. I need to get up. I need to go. I have to go work out because I know as much as I didn't want to, it always makes me feel better. And then afterwards, it did. You know, my day turned around. My thoughts turned around. I changed my perception. I got a lot done. I washed my car. I washed my bike. I washed both dogs. So I really was pretty productive. And I was thinking about balance, this like all or nothing, right? If I'm having a bad day, this idea of like, that I'm all bad or all good, right? I'm doing wrong or I'm doing right. And it actually brought me to something I was reading last night. I'm going to share it with you. This is a book a friend of mine gave me. It's called The Spirituality of Imperfection, Storytelling and the Search for Meaning. This book is, it is very much aligned with 12-step work. It's not like an AA book, but it talks about spirituality. It does reference mutual aid meetings. But the chapter I was reading last night talks about just that, and it's called A Sense of Balance. And it talks about humanness and really that human condition that I talk about quite a bit. This sort of absolute thinking, you know, I'm either productive or I'm not. I have a purpose or I don't. This very concrete and very judgmental way to view myself. So I'm either good or I'm bad. And so that's exactly what this chapter talked about. And I just wanted to share some of it. I underlined it. And I just thought it was really powerful. So caught between the infinite and nothing, darkness and light, the end of things and their beginning, misery and grandeur, certain knowledge and absolute ignorance, the human being is in a decidedly disordered state. So this idea that it's all or nothing, right? We're either good or we're evil. I could shut off my notifications. I'm sorry, guys. Silence the whole stinking And of course, it's like a group conversation, so that'll just keep going. So this idea that we can't be both, right? Like this is um, rigid thinking, rigidity around what's right and wrong, where you can both be right and wrong at the same time. You could be happy and sad. Um, and so this bothness is denied. When bothness is denied, that's when problems arise, right? So when we're on such an extreme, it's really unsustainable. It's kind of a roller coaster, and it keeps us from finding balance. And it puts a lot of judgment on ourselves, on our feelings, on who we are and what we're doing. To think in such terms, to teeter at the extreme of self-love and self-loathing, to pursue perfection because we despise our imperfection, is to find neither satisfaction in successes nor wisdom in failure. Life becomes a constant battle, a never-ending struggle to get somewhere, to achieve something, to produce something. So again, talking about the now and this idea of a goal. We have this set goal. We're always pursuing something, but we're focused on the goal. We're not present for the process. And growth, true growth, happens in the process. It doesn't happen when you reach the goal. If I could just ignore all my messages and figure out how to do that. And sorry, guys. I'm not doing this on my computer again. Okay. Yes. So when we are just so focused on the goal, we deny ourselves the opportunity to grow and to learn, and to really be present, to show up for life. The dogs are pushing me off the chair. Sorry, I'm so unorganized or disorganized or uncoordinated today. So this idea of balance, I know Kirsten talks about it a lot. I think Chelsea does too. How do we find balance, right? For me, it's really a lifelong struggle. I never achieve balance. I strive for balance, but I allow myself to be human more often than not. And that's the piece, is I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. So I kind of wax and wane. Sometimes I'm a little more negative, a little more positive, but I really, that insight and awareness helps me to have a little bit more balance, and also practice acceptance around self-love, right? Instead of going to the extremes, I'm an idiot or I'm great, right? I'm so smart or I'm so stupid. I did that good, I did that bad. It's this in between. I did the best I could. And that's all that we can really do every day, is to show up and do the absolute best that we can. And that's really what I strive for. So I don't strive for perfection. I strive to be of maximum service, really, to try to just be available, be present, to show up for others, to help in whatever way I can. Some days I fall short, other days I do well. And it's just this acceptance of my humanness, right? Same with addiction, right? We're not bad people. We're not evil people. We have a chronic health condition, a disease, and that guides some of our actions in active addiction, right? When your desire to use drugs and alcohol supersedes your desire to breathe, you act in ways that you wouldn't have you not been under the influence or an active addiction. Right, so it's not this finite kind of black and white thinking that we're either or. It's this dualism. It's not, here it is, into either God or beast, angel or devil, right or wrong, left or right, good or evil, up and down. We lack all sense of balance in those moments. We tend to sway precariously on the teeter-totter of life, running from one extreme to the other, missing the point that the only stable place to be is in the mixed-up middle. In reality, that is the only place we can be. And isn't that such a beautiful thing? When I think about, right, so it's a little extreme because I was super duper busy, and many of us were super duper busy before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and now we're sitting still, right? So there's these extremes happening in our lives, but we don't have to fall to either extreme. We can just be mixed in the now, that this is both good and bad, that this is challenging, but also an opportunity for growth, also an opportunity to connect in new ways, that we might be lonely, but we're not alone, right? I think that's a really good distinction. And this idea, however, we come to understand that there are necessarily both ups and downs in life. The same perceptive reveals that within ourselves there is light within our darkness, good within our evil. In the spirituality of imperfection, we learn to accept that we are neither angels nor beasts, for we are both. And it's living in our true humanness, living in the now. We are not all bad. We are not all good, right? And those words in and of itself are words that label us. And they pass judgment. Even saying you're good passes judgment. Whereas other times you're not good, but in this moment you are, right? Or you could be doing better, or whatever that might mean. It's all about growth. It's all about seeking. I talk about some of the same themes quite a bit because they're really important to me and in my life. Lately I've gotten into reading quite a bit. I always want to read, and I usually read before bed, but as soon as I open a book I fall asleep. And lately I've been reading more. And a lot of the reading that I do is around spirituality, growth, and just mindfulness, Buddhist thought also are some things that I'm interested. So I just share what I have, right? Our experience is our greatest asset, because that's something that can never be taken from us, because it's truly ours. And it is the struggle itself that defines us. Our many failures give meaning to our few successes. Only when we peer into the abyss can we appreciate the magnificence of heights that are more than mere highs. Isn't that beautiful? Only through darkness do we find light. Only in the embracing of our torn self, only in the acceptance that there is nothing wrong with feeling torn, that one can hope for whatever healing is available and can thus become as whole as possible. And only those who know darkness can truly appreciate light. Only those who acknowledge darkness can even see the light. So really standing in our truth and acknowledging who we are, acknowledging our path, and not being ashamed, right? We're not standing in shame. We're not bowing down to anyone just because our past may look different than others, right? Because we have a chronic health condition or, whatever that may be. I have a criminal record, and for a long time I would apply to jobs, and I just felt so ashamed. I just felt like, I'm undesirable, right? I've said throwaways a lot because it's come up in some things I've been involved in, but I just thought it was such a source of shame. And today, all of those experiences are my source of strength, right? It's what got me to where I am. It's what's given me these opportunities. It's been a part of what fuels me to try to just do the best that I can and live every day to the fullest. So our very brokenness allows us to become whole. No one is as whole as he who has a broken heart. And there's a lot more. So this is a good book. I could share it with you. The Spirituality of Imperfection, Storytelling and the Search for Meaning. But I really liked, ironically, right? It's so funny how these things happen. And I'm a very big kind of believer of the universe, and things happening exactly as they should, at the right place, at the right time, in the right way, And it's really peculiar how the universe kind of reveals itself to me in those exact moments. So when I needed to read about balance last night, that was the chapter I read about, right? It just so happened to be where I was at in the book. And it's funny because I needed to hear about balance, and I hadn't picked this book up in a little while. I was reading a different book. I've also uh, shared that the search for meaning. Um, you notice a theme, huh? Search for meaning. Um, I just so happened to pick up this book. I haven't picked it up, and I read where I left off, and it was talking about this right and wrong, good and bad, right? Um, and it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to fall back and judge ourselves. It's so easy to fall back in those old places of comfort. You know, there's something about sadness, melancholy that you could really, it's palpable. You could wrap your hands around it. You could really sort of roll up or cuddle up with it. It's so easy to go back to those places. It was for me last night and this morning, but the opportunities are there if I use some of the tools that I've learned in recovery, right? If I remember my worth, if I practice self compassion. Um, and some days it's just getting up and doing it, you know. Um, not We're not promised this perfect life, right? When we enter recovery, that everything's going to be great. We're always going to feel inspired, always going to feel motivated. We're just promised the human condition and to be able to feel the good and feel the bad and walk through it with dignity and grace, right? So just allow yourself to be human. Um, this has been kind of a challenging weekend. I got some news about some folks. This is like 2 weekends in a row where I got some news that isn't great. And we have to really prepare ourselves. We have to be there for one another and just know that things are going to get a little bit worse or a lot a bit worse before they get better, right? But it's being in this community, being connected, supporting one another, being prepared, knowing, right? I'm not going to tell you guys everything is going to be great next week. It's probably going to be a really, really rough week for us, for many folks. But we're not alone in it. We can get through it. You know, we have an incredible community. You guys helped me get through it. You know, last night I wasn't feeling terribly inspired, and I still knew I had to show up at 5:30, and I just got to be me. You know, I just got to be me, stand in my truth. Today's a much better day. I showered. I washed my hair. Just going on like 3 days of a little bit of self-pity or self whatever, but so I'm feeling good. And it's so funny how that happens, you know, these sort of, it comes in waves, right? So you don't have to question it, you can just accept it. It just is. It just is. The most important part is to keep getting up, keep moving forward. It's not linear, but it's definitely beautiful, and every experience is an opportunity to grow. So practice some self-compassion. Be true to yourself. Stand in your truth. If you're not feeling good, I use good still, and it's a word that has some judgment to it. If you're not feeling yourself, or you're feeling like there's some pain in your heart, please reach out. I promise you, many of us have been through it. Many of us are going through very similar things. Oh, I see all these comments. Jess, Holly, Meredith. Oh my goodness. I'm not using my computer. I'm going with the phone. I thought this was easier, but it's clearly not. I'm having a lot of struggles. Thanks for joining, ladies. It's really good to see you on here. So be good to yourselves. I'm here for you. We have a great program scheduled for everyone this coming week. The new schedule actually just came out. Jonathan posted it about an hour or so ago. I shared away. So stay tuned. Sorry for the disorganization and notifications. I'll figure this out. Have a great night, you guys. Enjoy the sun that came out, sorta. Get outside. It's nice and warm. All right. Be well. Lots of love. Bye.